Welcome back, viewers at home. I am joined by an amazing author who is sharing timeless lessons and heartfelt stories. And I am joined by Zareesoul's writing style, which is a personal, candid, and engaging, as she invites readers to join her in exploring the memories and emotions, not forgetting lessons that have shaped her life. Zareesoul, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. It's indeed a pleasure to be here with you on this lovely, crisp evening.
Now, it's quite
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have to say, it's quite exciting to speak with a faceless author. Very exciting because you just keep thinking, who can it be? And you become so engaged with what they have to offer through their book. Now, just to start off our conversation tonight, can you tell me a bit on who is Zareesoul and what inspired the name?
It's a very special, I have a very special answer to the question. Zareesoul is actually has come about from the fact that my father called me Zari, and my late father, and may Allah grant him Jannatul Firdaus.
Ameen, ameen.
I think, I was thinking about writing the book from my soul, and it just came very naturally to me and felt very safe to actually write the book under the nom de plume of Zeri's Soul.
Now, with that being said, what would you say was the most, surprising or unexpected, life that you discovered when writing this book?
Quite interesting that you should ask that question because I never thought about it, and I must share with you that this wasn't something that I had actually thought of doing in terms of writing a book. And at this point, I want to thank my publisher for encouraging me, believing in the scripts that she had read. And she actually coerced me when she proposed that I need to write a book and she wants to publish and compile my scripts into a book. I first said no. And that for me was unexpected. It came upon me as a calling. And at that point, I recognized that the capacity of wanting to be in charge and wanting to choose what I want to be and how I would like to share my stories came upon as I discovered my resilience. And what I found was very interesting is how my ordinary life really matters. And that was unexpected. Also, how much fun I had interacting with my true self over and above being listened to and being heard by my publisher who took a keen interest in what I was saying. I think it's really a wonderful feeling when you're talking to yourself and you're listening to yourself, and then you find somebody that is actually listening to you, really keen to understand you and wanting to connect with you. And that's what my wonderful publisher did. And that for me was a beautiful, I would say, perhaps unexpected and very exciting part of the story writing.
This book really makes me think of how it's so beautiful to be able to sort of pour your heart out. And I think most times you find people who want to share stories, but they're too scared because of, be it society, be it, environments. But this offers such a liberating sense. But then, maybe it's different for you. But just coming back to your writing process, would you say that you had reservations or it was quite liberating for you to, embark on writing reflections of 73 years?
As I had said, that I hadn't thought about writing a book.
Mm.
So the fact that I had accepted when my publisher believed in my work and she, proposed that she would like to write the book, my permission to introspect came from my core. And at the time that I was writing, I had no reservations because the sharing was cathartic and enjoyable. It was an internalized exercise. I truly enjoyed sharing, writing, but at that time, I didn't really think about a book. To be honest, it was just about the adventure of writing my stories and writing my experiences. And then during that experience, during that time, I felt a sense of my wings flapping and celebrating my blessed life in so many gracious ways. But then once the book was printed, to talk about reservations, the reality dawned upon me, and I thought, why word? Now there's truth telling and it's unchangeable. But
Mm.
I loved the authenticity that Allah had granted me. And I loved, and I want to thank the Almighty because with all the significant others that had joined me on my journey of life, the reservations were limited because my story comes from truth telling.
Hmm. Now, for readers who are going to be, getting a copy of your book and just, reading through your journey of like, 73 years, what are your hopes in this regard? Do you hope for them to, find those universal truths, or you hope for them to find personal revelations in your book, or perhaps a bit of both?
The book has been written with the intention of it reaching my reader with both those aspects.
Okay.
The book is a lot about human to human. I have actually also written the book under the concept of Ubuntu, where I say Al Insania, Al Tija, Al Akhirin, humanity towards others. And as I had expressed, that the book is about the theme of the book is based on ordinary lives matter. So this would be universal. And I think in so many ways, my book talks about the dualities and the different frequencies that the scripts come through. I think we have altered energy dimensions with every story across ages, cultures, and genders. I want to emphasize that this is not a granny book. It's for all ages, and it's also for male and female because
Mm-hmm.
we as human beings experience our emotions, our thoughts, our opinions at a vast level as humanity and not just in one dimension of just universal, and it's not just personal revelations. It's vast.
Hmm. Now, Zareesoul, you make mention of, belly laughs and tears in your book. How important was it for you to balance, light-hearted moments with the more serious ones?
I did find that I was writing about my personal experiences as I write about the first season. And the natural flow of my introspections was somewhat illustrated from an unconscious memory, from a bank of importance that emerged. And I really want to ground my expressions with as I about my evolvement. And I wanted to do this with balance. So there were times when I thought this book is too heavy in a way, and I needed to soften it. But then at other times, I saw some essence leaning towards too simple, and it also at some points too flippant. So those were the times that I needed to look at how I navigated, and I added intellect and depth. And for me, what was very important is that there was meaningfulness for the reader and also benefit in the way they read the book.
Hmm. Now, just to conclude our conversation tonight, where and from when will the book be available for individuals out there viewing tonight and myself to get a copy of the book?
So the book has already been in print and bought by many, and we getting a vast readership references and feedback. The book, like I said, talks about the phenomenal gift of, the times of COVID and the Gaza ravages. So in 73 years, I think we're so grateful that we have actually had this opportunity.
Mm.
Would love people to get the book. It is available at various bookstores, and I'm just going to go through it very quickly. In Lenasia, Darun Nishar, Ikra agencies in Lodium. It's available at Mufti's Bookshop in Sandton. It's available at Baitul Hikmah in Durban, Chapter 96 Books in Cape Town, Academia Library. And that's where I had my only in-person launch at Al Huda in Mayfair. Book is also available from me if you contact Amwaza, the publishers, and I'm not sure if INX is able to, give the contact number and they can get the book from me. I really do believe that I want to connect with the reader from my soul to soul. And I wish the reader well so that we can remain steadfast in gratitude and humility and remembering that ordinary lives do matter.
Speaking about ordinary lives, Zari, so you mentioned something that is quite intriguing to say, connecting with your readers. For someone who's sharing or rather reflecting on 73 years of, one's life, what does, connecting with readers mean to you, and what do you hope you connecting with the reader will do not only for yourself but for the reader as well?
I think in many ways I speak about my early childhood, and I'm sure there are many people that would reflect on their early childhoods and look at how we all evolve from stage to stage. I've specifically also chosen Zareesoul because I did not want my book to be related to my work. I'm in the field of counseling, organizational behavior, energy healing, holistic health practices, and this book is differently scripted related to my experiences, but I think in many ways it's going to resonate with people who have had similar experiences as well. And like I say, soul to soul, in the way we share, um, just, not only face to face, but at vast energy levels and in a higher realm of how we are part of the humanity. So I say we are one part of the whole and a whole part of the one. Like we say, when one limb is wounded,
Mm,
the pain is felt in the whole body. And I think this is what our Ummah is about.
yeah.
And it has to be soul to soul.
Wow, that is quite remarkable. Jazakallah so much, Zari. So, for joining us tonight and sharing bits and pieces about your writing journey, how, you never intended for it to be a book, and now it is a book. And there's so many unintended blissful moments that will arise from this book because we understand that there are people who are internally and, privately are going through, loss of a loved one, having to welcome the different stages of their lives, but they don't know who to talk to because of they're scared of being judged or misconstrued. And I think this book can in some way offer them that chance to understand that we all go through something in life, and it's all about how sort of partake a different perspective into how you want to look at it and how you want to come out of it. But jazakallah so much, for coming in and sharing so much about your lovely book.
Thank you so much. I think your comment really ties my intention into a very neat package with a
Mhm.
lot of love. You seem to hear me, and I feel you. Jazakallah so much.
Amin, amin. Viewers at home, that was the anonymous writer of Reflections of 73 Years, and she goes by the name of Zareesoul. Viewers at home, do not despair in getting yourself a copy. And the beautiful thing is, not like any other ordinary, and I'm not trying to, yeah, but she's willing to connect with her readers, and I think this is something that is quite rare and like really offered in that sense. But do make sure you make the most out of it. For now, let's take a bit of a break. I'll see you just after this.